what's going on. But you know, usually they're John Knight's pulling in at the last minute.
Yeah. Are we ready?
Yes.
Okay, good. In the back of the room today, we're honored to have Becky Neosi, our Register of Deeds, join us. Becky, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to the March 25th, 2019 meeting of the Shawnee County Board of Commissioners. My name is Bob Archer. I currently serve as chair of the commission and represent District 3 alongside Commissioner Bill Rippon, who represents District 1, and Commissioner Kevin Cook, who represents District 2. Good morning, everyone. First item of business, please.
First item is item 3, consent agenda.
There were 2 items on the consent agenda. Are there questions or comments?
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion made to approve the consent agenda by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item 4, new business. A, County Clerk number 1, consider all voucher payments.
Okay. Under building maintenance, Furniture Mall of Kansas totaling $41,588 is for carpet at the Manor Conference Center. Under information technology, Gray Bar, $19,174.56 is for power supply units for the hyperconverged infrastructure platform. Total vouchers as of March 22nd, 2019, $1,086,687.03. And I move that we approve the vouchers.
Second.
Motion made to approve the vouchers by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item A2, consider correction orders.
I'll move to approve the correction orders.
Second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Archer, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item B, District Court number 1, consider approval of request for installation and purchase of courtroom technology upgrades from SciTech for rooms 3C, room 311, or courtrooms 3C, room 311, and 3F, room 300, at a cost of $76,220 with funding from the Court Administration budget.
Good morning, Commissioners. Lee Don Welch, Court Administrator, Shawnee County District Court. What I'm asking for is consent and authorization for the 2 bids that I've prepared or that have been prepared and submitted to you for audiovisual services in the 2 courtrooms that are being currently renovated. The bids are a little different. If you notice, the second bid for room 300 is slightly higher. What we've done is included a larger cabinet rack system so that that component can be shared between courtroom 300 and then the adjoining courtroom, which is presently Division 22. So it's actually going to be a cost savings in the long run to have a larger piece of equipment there. The audiovisual systems that we're putting in these courtrooms are the same as what we've put in other courtrooms that have been upgraded. They're all coming from SciTech, which has done our previous courtrooms. They're a local company. It's under state contract, and the services that we receive from SciTech, both during the installation process and after the sale, have been exemplary. Funding sources, at the present time, we do have some money in special project funds that we hope to utilize, as well as court administration budget, and District Attorney Kagay is also offering money from his budget to assist with the criminal courtroom that's being renovated. So once we get those bills in, we will put specific numbers to each funding source. I'd be happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Are there questions?
No. I would move we approve.
Yes.
I think this actually should be a motion to acknowledge receipt.
Okay.
Since once we pass a court's budget, they have the authority. This is more of a courtesy the court has always done, And I appreciate the court does, as a courtesy, come down to let us know the expenditures they have as a responsible entity. So, but I would second the motion to
Very good.
acknowledge.
Thank you for pointing that out, Commissioner Cook. Motion made to approve by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here, Judge. Next item, please.
Item C, Register of Deeds. Number 1, consider recommendations of the Land Records Committee to allocate $133,045 to 7 items as follows. The first 6 are all for the appraiser. Sidwell Parcel Builder Plus in an amount of $2,500 to be paid in 2020. Apex Sketching Software Annual Maintenance in an amount of $2,200 to be paid in 2020. Orthophotography in an amount of $25,000 to be paid in 2020. ESRI Software Annual Licensing and Maintenance in an amount of $40,000 to be paid in 2020. SciGen Scanning Software Maintenance in an amount of $5,000 to be paid in 2020. Vehicle purchase for property record inspection in an amount of $40,000 to be paid in 2019. And 1 request from Public Works for GPS receiver radio-based system in an amount of $13,345 to be paid in 2019.
Good morning, Commissioners. Becky Neosi, Register of Deeds. The Register of Deeds has a technology fund, and when there are excess monies in that fund, they can be transferred to be used for equipment or technological services related to the land or property records filed or maintained by the county. And we do have a committee set up to review these requests and make sure they follow the statutory guidelines. And so we are recommending these 7 items. We do try to do these a year in advance so that departments will have their will know when they're planning their budgets next month. So I would like to thank the committee, the IT department, the weed department, the county clerk, the appraiser's office, and Public Works. If you have any specific questions on these items, I've asked the 2 departments to come up and explain. If you have any general questions about Land Records Committee or anything, I'd be happy to answer those.
I see the county appraiser standing up, and I'm sure he's going to come up and talk to us.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Becky.
Commissioners, Steve Bauman, County Appraiser. I would first off like to thank our Register of Deeds, Becky Neosi, for generously giving these funds, non-taxpayer funded accounts, to allow us to acquire these needed items. It's much appreciated, not only as a department head that's requesting all of this, but also as a taxpayer. I appreciate that. Most of these items were read off very well by our county clerk.
Most of most of them?
Without needing any further explanation. One of the items that are on here are vehicles for inspection, and our newest vehicle is 10 years old. Our oldest one is 20, and here are a couple photos of a couple of the vehicles that we'll be looking to replace. You know, it's a sound vehicle. This is a 2000, I think this one's a 2007 Crown Vic with 103,000 miles. Here's the back of it. We don't have a lot of credibility driving around in this also. Here is a 2006 Crown Vic with 114,000 miles. Originally, we were getting vehicles from the Sheriff's Department, and it was working out great. You know, they would just give us their vehicles that they were done with, and we were able to put those into service. They had since stopped doing that process so that they could trade their vehicles in on newer ones. Mm-hmm. So over the last several years, ours have continued to get older, rougher shape, breaking down at a phenomenal rate. So we're spending money on maintenance as well as downtime waiting on tow trucks and such. So The other item is the orthophotography. That we look to get every 2 years, and that's in a share with other counties as well as a share with the city of Topeka. So before Becky has allowed us to use this money for this purpose, different departments would chip in from their budget an amount to cover the photography that we get every year. And it's used countywide by multiple departments. And I would be happy to follow up, answer any questions on any of these items that you have.
Now, thank you for bringing the pictures in. I think that could be the highlight of the meeting today. And orthophotography sounds like a medical procedure. What is it?
It's just aerial imagery.
Oh,
so
okay.
it's the base layer for all of our GIS mapping systems that shows the picture as it is at the time it's flown. So the last time we had it flown was 2018. We'll be flying again in 2020 if this is approved.
And this can be used in conjunction with the other software we got to look at improvements in property that have not essentially been
Correct.
reported.
Okay. This was actually the 2018 aerials were used for our push pin software detection.
Okay. Questions for the appraiser?
This is for the whole, the aerials for the whole county?
Correct.
Is this the same one the city shares?
It is.
Do they help participate in any of this?
They do. They take half of our
Okay.
costs.
Very good, thank you. Commissioner Cook?
You know, I think these two photos of the cars do share a lot about, the rust and the paint peeling. But you said that both of them are, 10 years old. One is, I guess, 12 years, one's 13 years, but 114,000 miles. Are they still sound? I mean, do they work well? I mean, are we having mechanical issues with them?
They are breaking down,
Okay.
and not anything significant to where we need a new engine or new transmission. In most cases, it's things where the alternator may go out or heater hose going out. So it's things that could be repaired, and we have been repairing them. It's time out of our appraiser's day too, though, when their car breaks down. And
I think that's important to highlight the return of investment and the amount of the money they put into the car. I mean, if you were to take a car to a body shop and have it repainted, if we were just talking about the paint, a new paint job for a car is going to be less than $40,000. But you're not just talking about paint and rust. You're talking about repairs internally to the engine and what your cost of return of investment is, and that would be justification for a new vehicle. And I think that it's more to highlight that it's not just a paint, peeling, or rust, especially when we're dealing with taxpayer dollars.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Also, beyond that, I'm looking at getting 2 used vehicles instead of 1 new one. I think we can definitely get 2 for the $40,000 pretty easily. One, we would hope to get a 4-wheel drive, either SUV truck for the rural areas, and then the other one just a standard sedan. That's 2 years old, less than 40,000 miles.
And again, I just want to stress that this is more than just paint, peeling, and rust on a couple.
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
And these vehicles with only 100,000 miles in today's terms, that doesn't seem like that great, but they did belong to the sheriff's department.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, I'm sure the sheriff took care of them.
no, I think they did. I just don't think they were driven on Sundays
Right.
to church and back.
And they're Fords. So, any other questions?
No.
Okay,
Thank you.
Steve.
I don't know that we've made a motion yet. I'll make a motion to approve the
Public
request.
Works, the people.
I just
We
had
already
one
heard
item.
him.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't need to speak on it.
I thought you were getting up for your item, sorry. I thought we were already jumping ahead. Sorry, Kurt.
That's all right. The item we requested, Kurt Niehaus, Director of Public Works and Solid Waste. The item we requested was a radio-based GPS system. We presently have a cell phone-based system that uses a stationary base station. The problem is when cell phone coverage isn't the best in certain parts of the county, we don't get service, and then we can't use our system. So this radio-based system that uses mobile base stations, it would kind of augment our cellular-based system so that we get full coverage throughout the county, and we can do our work throughout the county, our survey work. Any questions?
Any questions for Kurt?
Now I'll make a motion to approve the request.
I will now second that.
Motion made to approve the recommendations of the Land Records Committee by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Again, Becky, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's appreciated. Next item, please.
Item D, Public Works Solid Waste. Number 1, consider approval of request to award bid to Shawnee Mission Ford for the purchase of 2 1-ton diesel trucks with crew cabs, dump beds, plows, and sanders at a cost of $137,712, excuse me, for both, which include a $1,500 each trade-in credit with the funding from the 2019 Special Machinery Fund.
Good morning again. Kurt House, Director of Public Works and Solid Waste. On February 18th, I came before you asking if we could solicit bids for a 1-ton crew cab pickup with dump bed, plow, and sander. It was to replace a 2009 model year truck used by our road maintenance crews. Just a refresher, we use these in areas that are kind of handicapped or small where we can't use. And best bid, in Public Works' opinion, was submitted by Shawnee Mission Ford in the amount of $66,356. This cost includes a $1,500. To my chagrin, after I came before you and asked you to solicit bids, and I told you that we were going to purchase one truck, guess what? A second truck, identical. In the last, let's see here. In the last, since 2014, we've spent asking you to accept a bid from Shawnee Mission for 132 is correct.
Seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item D2, consider approval of request to award the bid authorization and execution of contract C-135-2019 for same.
On January 24th, asking the commission if we can solicit bid. Hazmat Inc. of Kansas City, Missouri is the lowest and best bid. What we did to establish the lowest price is we look back at history of what we spent, what our typical hazardous materials are, and the costs, and we just put that into a program to determine what vendor we thought would provide the lowest cost. So, we're requesting authorization to enter into this contract with Hazmat. Again, it provides collection, disposal, recycling service of the materials that we collect out at the Household Hazardous Waste Facility. It will be active from March 13th, which is in the past, through March 31st of 2022. That's 3 years with an option to renew 1 year annually, up to 3 additional years. We obviously don't know what the actual annual cost will be at this point because it depends on what we collect at HHW, but we believe that it will not exceed $90,000 per year. This request comes out of the Solid Waste Fund, which is fee-funded and not taxpayer-supported. And again, it replaces a contract that expired March 12th of this year. Questions?
Questions about the contract?
Do they take the oil as well as?
They take everything.
Everything.
Yeah. Mercury, oil, sharps, you name it. They take it.
Interesting.
Well,
I'll move to approve.
second.
Motion made to approve the contract by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item D3, consider approval to issue a request for quotations for commercial and industrial solid waste containers with an estimated expenditure of no more than $100,000 for the remainder of the year.
Yeah, Courtney House, Director of Public Works and Solid Waste. I'm here before you requesting authorization to issue an RFQ to establish a cost from a vendor to supply solid waste with various fabricated steel containers that we use. Obviously, if you've ever seen how we unload these containers, they go through pretty rough treatment. And some of them we can fix and some of them we can't, so every so often we have to order some new containers. In my write-up, I indicated the size of the containers that we would like to order. It's impossible at this point to determine how much we're going to spend, but we anticipate that we will spend no more than $100,000 for the remainder of this calendar year. Again, funding for this request comes from the Solid Waste Fund, which is 100% fee-funded and not taxpayer-supported. Questions?
Questions?
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item D4, consider approval of request to solicit bids for paving or pavement milling sweeping services for sections of South and North Topeka Boulevard prior to placing an asphalt overlay at an estimated cost of $29,500 with funding from the 2019 Public Works Road Maintenance Account.
Courtney House, Director of Public Works and Solid Waste. It's a marathon day. That's what happens when I was gone last week. What I'm here before you now is asking authorization to submit bids for milling and sweeping. We've identified 3 stretches of county road that needs to have a milling and inlay. Those are South Topeka Boulevard, 2 South Topeka Boulevard projects and 1 North Topeka Boulevard project. Again, this was determined based on a visual examination of our system. Upon completion of this milling and sweeping work, then Public Works maintenance forces will come in and place an asphalt overlay. So again, estimated cost for the milling and sweeping will be no more than $29,500, and the funding will come from the 2019 Public Works Road Maintenance Fund. Should be no detrimental impacts to the budget. And questions?
Questions?
When do you anticipate this work being done? Is this a spring project? Or?
Oh, I would say it's probably more of spring, summer. Last year we kind of got behind and we didn't finish everything. We don't want to make that same mistake twice.
All right. I move we approve.
Second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item D5, consider approval of request to award bid to Bettis Asphalt and Construction for the reconstruction of Southwest Gary Ormsby Drive from U.S. Highway 75 North on-ramp to Southwest Innovation Parkway in an amount of $611,099.45, with Shawnee County paying $500,813, and the City of Topeka paying the remainder, and authorization and execution of contract C-136-2019 for same, with funding from the Public Works Special Highway Improvement Fund.
Courtney House, Director of Public Works and Solid Waste. On March 13th at 2 p.m. we received bids. We received 3 bids on this project. I'll talk about the project in a little bit. Bettis Asphalt came in with the lowest bid, well below the engineer's estimate, almost $250,000. So I'm here before you requesting that you accept that bid so we can go forward with that work that starts in June of this year, in fact, June 3rd. Now for the project. The project's real simple. It's not going to take very long. Basically, it goes from US 75 to Innovation Parkway. It's going to be similar to what we did on Southwest 77th Street from Burlingame to US 75, I think in 2017. What we do is we mill off 4 inches of asphalt. What's left isn't worth much. So we mix that all in with the base material. We add cement. The cement gains strength. It takes a tremendous amount of truck traffic because of the businesses in that area. And if you recall, here a few weeks ago, I talked about when we design pavements, it's generally trucks that drive the design. It's trucks and the environment that push the envelope on pavement design life. And so this, with this new base, stronger base, and 10 inches of asphalt, we should be able to support the trucks that utilize Southwest 77th Street. Questions?
Excellent explanation, by the way. And this is a project that really, I mean, is sorely needed for the area.
Yeah, if you've seen existing pictures of the pavement,
Yeah.
it's rough.
Yeah, this definitely needs to be done. I'll make a motion to approve the request. Commissioner Cook?
we need a point of clarification. The clerk read that we are committing $500,813 to this project. The agreement is actually a 50-50 cost share with the city of Topeka. If we're awarding a bid to Bettis for $611,099.45, our portion that we commit should be no more than $305,549.73. And I want to make sure that it's clear that is the only amount that we are committing, because the city, if we approve $500,000, I don't want the city of Topeka to read that as being that they're only responsible for $111,000, because I believe that's the way that it would be interpreted by the city if we're approving $500,000 for the expenditure. It is a 50-50 cost share.
Can I add one thing? In essence, you are correct, but the 50-50 cost share covers the design, construction engineering, and contingencies.
Right.
But nevertheless, we will most likely pay well below $513,000.
So if we can make sure the motion is clear that it is 50%
Yes.
or $500,813, whichever is less.
Whichever is less.
Correct.
Thank you,
Okay.
Commissioner Cook. Thank you so much. And that's
So
understood.
that's how your motion is then, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, and that's for the record.
All right.
Okay.
I just don't want the city of Topeka to believe that we are committing to more than 50%, because I believe they would.
We wouldn't let them get away with that, Kevin.
If we approve a motion, they're going to read the motion. So I just want to make sure that it's clear on both sides, so there's no misunderstanding. Also, the sooner we can get to this project, right now, I mean, I know that Commissioner Archer, this is your district, but I have individuals calling me on a daily basis with concerns about that there's not enough signage, letting them know that there's road issues and concerns about vehicles maybe bottoming out or, causing serious damage to the vehicles due to the road condition right now.
We'll look into moving the substantial start up we'll look into that.
Or if we can just put maybe more signage letting people know of the road conditions,
Okay.
because these are very hazardous conditions at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Commissioner Cook, and I've heard a lot too, and that's why I say this is a major project that needs to be done as soon as possible. So, yeah, thank you for your clarification. It's very spot on. Motion made to approve by Commissioner Archer, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Kurt.
Sorry
Next
it took
item,
so
please.
long.
It's all right. Next item, please.
Item E, Sheriff's Office, number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C-137-2019 with Tyler Technologies, adding the web briefing notes module to the software package with no cost at this time, and annual maintenance of a cost of $2,310 to be paid from budgeted funds.
Good morning, Commissioners. Captain Hubler with the Sheriff's Office. This is a module that is being added to our Tyler New World product, which we've had for many years. This particular module will provide for automation of our, what we typically call roll call notes, briefings that go out to all the law enforcement officers, both with the City of Topeka and the Shawnee County Sheriff's Office. The nice thing is when the dispatchers put the calls in now, it will automatically move over instead of an officer on the street or a dispatcher having to type out a separate briefing that subsequently gets emailed out. This will be automatically fulfilled and then sent out. It was purchased originally, our thought, with the BOLO module that came before you a while back. It was an error on Tyler New World's part. We were actually supposed to pay for this module as well, but because they failed in their bid to show that is subsequently why it is no cost for the module. It's a significant savings for the county. I'll be happy to stand for any questions, or we can talk about this lovely car on the screen still.
I'll move to acknowledge.
I think we're supposed to,
This has to be approved.
The
No,
adding.
this one has to actually be approved.
This one is
Approval?
signed by
Okay.
the county.
All right, move to approve.
Second that.
motion made to approve the contract by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, Captain. Next item, please.
Item F, Health Department, number 1, consider approval of request to close the Health Department during normal operating hours on April 24th, 2019, to conduct the Workforce Development Day at the Topeka Center for Advanced Learning and Careers.
Good morning, Commissioners. Linda Oaks from the Health Department. We are asking approval for our annual Workforce Development Day. This year, we are going to be hosted by USD 501 at the Topeka Center for Advanced Learning and Careers. It's a very nice facility if you've had a chance to go through it. I did get to tour it last year, so we're pretty excited about that. Some of the training topics we go over: the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, which is HIPAA. Food is medicine, we're going to talk about. We'll do some diversity training, sexual harassment, employee health and wellness. And also on this day, we're going to be awarding the first J.P. Lewis Award of Excellence to a staff member that day. So I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Questions for Linda? We communicate with all our customers that
Absolutely.
we're going to be closed for business. And tell us a little bit about the new award that you're going to be granting.
So the new award is a lot like the public award that we announced a few weeks ago. So this award is for staff, so they can nominate each other to recognize someone who's gone above and beyond for the health department and for and to improve the health of our whole community. So we have several nominations. So I think it's been a great success, and I'm looking forward to it.
It's an excellent idea. Thank you. Any questions for Linda?
I move that we approve the request.
Second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Linda.
Thank you,
Next
Commissioners.
item, please.
Item 5, Administrative Communications.
This is an opportunity for any department head or member of the public to address the commission.
Linda Oaks from the Health Department. Thought I'd stay here and go first. I just want to visit with you a little bit about our newsletter that our epidemiologist writes and publishes every month. It's called Epi Surveillance. It goes out to all providers. It's also posted on our webpage under the Communicable Disease tab. So this month she did an article about e-cigarettes among adolescents. And just to tell you a few facts about e-cigarettes, we have seen in Shawnee County a 91% increase in current e-cigarette use by 6th to 12th graders from 2017 to 2018. The Surgeon General is calling the rise an epidemic and concluded e-cigarette usage among youth is a public health concern, and nicotine exposure can cause addiction and harmful effects on the developing adolescent brain. So we're very concerned about this. We're doing a lot of work about this. I know the school districts are working very hard on it too. Did you know there are 7,764 unique flavors for e-cigarettes? And I wish I had brought a picture. I know we have some cars like that too. But just to show you in the newsletter, this bottom picture, those are some of the flavors that are available. So you can tell who they're marketing to by the picture. So if you would like to read more about e-cigarettes, last month, please go out and look at our newsletter. Last month we talked about rabies, and next month we'll have another interesting topic. So I encourage you all to read it. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda.
Just couldn't get enough of me today. Kurt Niehaus, Director of Public Works and Solid Waste. I just wanted to give everyone an update on the condition of county roads. We've had a harsh winter. We didn't have any days over 60, I don't believe, this winter, and what it did is it prevented our pavements and our substructures, pavement substructures from drying out. And then when you toss in 2 days of rain, not last week, but the week before, it was a recipe for disaster. But I do want to tell you that this morning, county roads are in pretty decent shape. And I also want to tell you that Auburn Township roads were in such a state of disrepair, and I mean no disrespect to Auburn Township. I think they were just inundated and overwhelmed, that Shawnee County forces assisted Auburn Township last Friday and last Monday hauling rock so that they can distribute rock on their roads. So I just wanted to let you know, I think Shawnee County is, as a county engineer, I have a responsibility for all roads in the county, and I thought the Auburn Township roads were getting to the point they needed assistance. So just wanted to let you know about that.
Thank you, Kurt.
Yeah.
Commissioner Cook.
Is the Auburn Township reimbursing for the cost of the assistance?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure that the taxpayers know that this is being paid for by the Auburn Township and it's not being borne by somebody who doesn't live within the township.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you.
I appreciate your assistance in helping them out.
That's your district, isn't it?
Yes.
No, I thought it was.
I heard about the roads.
Is there anyone else to address the commission this morning? Commissioner Rippon.
Well, I had the privilege to give some opening remarks to the Special Olympics. They were having their basketball and cheerleading championship at Washburn Rural High School, and it was fun. And you know, those kids, they just give it all they have, and it's just a thrill to go out there and see these young people, and not all young. There were some that were elderly out there, and but it was just a great event. And I also got to go to Ward Mead, Old Prairie Town, where they were doing a volunteer recognition dinner, and that's always good to attend those and see all the old friends and volunteers. So
Excellent.
that's it.
Excellent. Commissioner Cook.
Likewise, I also attended the Old Prairie Town volunteer dinner, and again, it is good to see all the work that's done by the volunteers. The volunteer hours last year alone equated to 2.5 additional employees. That those are at no service or no cost to the county, and those are just individuals that volunteer their time weeding and planting and working the drugstore and the general store and everything else at Old Prairie Town, and we are very indebted to all the service of the volunteers. Tonight, I'll be attending the TARC Awards Banquet, and so look forward to attending that. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Last Friday morning, I had the opportunity, along with the mayor and City Councilman Padilla and members of Go to Peak and about 20 military staff to go to Forbes Field. And we visited with Major General Mark Kammerer, and he's from headquarters of the Air Mobility Command, the office of which executes the process for deciding where assets such as flight simulators are located in the United States. And it was fascinating to hear about the flight simulators and the economic benefit it would bring to Forbes Field. And afterwards I got an email from Colonel Jared France, which basically said, "Thank you all so much for taking time out of your busy agendas to stand together and show your support for the 190th Air Refueling Wing. Today's meeting was a move in the right direction in terms of opening the dialogue with Air Mobility Command. But what's important," he said, "while today's meeting primarily focused on the future simulator movements, it was a great opportunity to highlight the strategic long-term value of Forbes Field and the amazing community that surrounds this installation. It was an honor to be there." Next item, please.
Item 6, executive session.
There's not a need. We're officially adjourned. Thank you for attending.